The Opinion with Michael J. So we have Mr. Moses Znaimer of Zoomer Media and CARP that seems to be endorsing Pierre Poilievre. Now let's take a boo at this. Whoops. Yeah, we'll do the PIP. I was going to do this one here. Oh, button's not working. Button stopped working. Yikes. This one's working. Okay, we'll use this button. So anyway, we're going to actually maximize this screen. And you can hear for yourself.
Mr. Poilievre, if you would permit me one personal comment. It's widely known that your handlers have been holding back your natural exuberance in order to project an image of gravitas and restraint, but I think
gravitas and restraint, monsieur. My nerves.
Really, is it necessary to be as boring as Mr. Carney?
What, do you have to be a drama queen to be a politician?
Order.
Or to lead people? Come on now, Moses.
To prove that you can be a leader. I believe that Canada is ready for a passionate statement from a passionate leader who can evoke the country we all love and answer the simple question that is on everyone's lips.
Before he gets any further, let's make a point here. Now, CARP is the Canadian Association of Retired People. They're supposed to be looking out, and they collect, fees for memberships, and they're supposed to be looking out for the best interests of retired people. So I just want to make sure that you understand that point first and foremost. Listen to the rest of the talk here, please.
What happened to Canada? Where did it go? What happened to the decent, democratic country we had and could still recognize as recently as 10 years ago? What and who is responsible for those 10 lost years, and how should they be held accountable? To answer these questions, I am honored, I am pleased, I am chuffed to now welcome the leader of the Conservative Party of
Good
Canada,
choice of words.
the applicant for the role of Prime Minister of Canada, Pierre Poilievre. And like I said, Pierre,
But before we get any further, let's be clear. As Pierre Poilievre has been telling ever since he became the opposition leader, and Mr. Moses Znaimer here right now, they make out like Canada's broken. Like Canada is broken. If you want to take that position, North America is broken. It's not exclusive to Canada. North America is broken. The world is broken. We're just exiting a pandemic that started in December 19th, 2019, to be more exact, which ended, based on the WHO representations, on May 23rd, 2023. Nonetheless, what other people are forgetting, during that period of time, every country's output, productivity, basically was a big Zippo, L0. And when you're putting out money to keep your people, citizens, able to buy food and groceries and keep things going so that people are taken care of, and you have no gross domestic product, a natural byproduct of that is this funny thing that's been around for a long, long time, ever since the fiat economy came into existence, and they call it inflation. And that inflation, even though you've gone through pain and suffering because of a pandemic, you're exiting the pandemic, and you get another dose of pain and suffering called inflation, by design, a construct by the world economy, the fiat economy. This is the reality of things. Now he's going to introduce Pierre Poilievre. Let her rip. So let's listen to this. Everybody stands up, gives him a clap.
Wow, what an introduction. Moses, that wasn't the introduction I wrote for you.
Yeah, he went off script.
How do you follow that?
You normally don't allow that.
Isn't that incredible? Well, the legendary Moses Znaimer has not had the success that he's enjoyed for no reason. The creativity, the audacity, the pluck, and the wordsmith are all still well intact. And it's a privilege to be here with your incredible group of Zoomers and Boomers and CARP members. I know we're supposed to be addressing the Canadian Association of Retired Persons, which brings back memories for me, Moses, from my very first campaign event. I was out, what do you do when you want to run for office? The first place you go to is a senior's home. Because, of course, as Moses said, seniors have a habit of voting. And so I remember I arrived, and we'd been making a little bit of noise around the community, so I thought maybe I was getting well known, and maybe they'd already recognized me. So I walked in the door, very proud, chest puffed out. I walked up to a resident in the senior's home, and I said, "Do you know who I am?" She said, "No, but if you ask the nurse, she'll tell you who you are."
That was well scripted. We had a little brevity from Mr. Poilievre, which is pretty rare normally for him. But here's my point. And now I'd like to show you something here right now. That was seniors. Now, what is the concern about seniors? Their health, obviously, and finances. So those two things, health and finances. So let's take a look at something. Everybody wants to privatize healthcare. Let's understand Pierre Poilievre. He likes privatizing healthcare. Let's face it. Danielle Smith in Alberta tried to backdoor private healthcare, but now they've got an investigation into healthcare, resignations. Stephen Harper is running the pension plan now. So that's where that's going. Wild Rose Party, Reform Party, Canadian Alliance Party. They merged with the Conservative Party of Canada with Peter MacKay as the leader. And then they torpedoed Peter MacKay, the deal that was made. And now it's the Stephen Harper Party. So let's look at something here. Healthcare plans in the United States. Employer-sponsored plans around $114. Individual plans $497. Now this is providing you're under the Affordable Care Act, which Trump's been trying to get rid of. And if Trump's trying to get rid of it, because the treasurer of the Republican Party is in the same organization that Stephen Harper's in, so an Affordable Care Act plan in the U.S. You've got to remember this is U.S. dollars, so add about approximately 40% on the exchange rate now. That's what they're going to nick. They're going to nick you when you come into the exchange rate and when you exit it. Either way, they're going to get you. Bronze, $495 U.S., silver, $618, gold, and platinum, $1166. And that's not including copays. They say, what, copays? Yeah, you don't hear it in Canada yet, but, if we get more of a privatized health care or two-tier health care system, you're going to hear about copays. Now, the age-related costs, 30-year-old, $618 per month, U.S. dollars. 60-year-old, $1,478 U.S. per month. That's for a PPO plan. Now you say, what's a PPO plan? That's a good question. And I'll tell you why, because I didn't know either. So what do you do when you don't know? You Google stuff. You find out, you get the facts, you make sure it's correct. A lot of Google stuff is AI generated now. But a PPO is Preferred Provider Organization. So if you're part of a plan, you got to be within that PPO, which is certain network of doctors and hospitals. And one of the other things we see here, PPO plans typically have higher monthly premiums and out-of-pocket costs compared to other managed care options. Okay? So there you go there. Now, you really think you hear healthcare. As a matter of fact, Conrad Black, his older brother, Montague Black, him and I shared the same divorce lawyer. But anyways, Conrad just recently did a video, and he said substantially better health care in the U.S. And he's a conservative. And he likes Trump. He's a friend of Trump's. But as you see, hey, there's a big cost for it. Do you think the average senior can afford that cost? That's the real question. Can the average senior afford that cost? Now let's look at Forbes. Whoa, Forbes. Forbes did what factors of, and you got to remember, every state's going to be different. If you don't look at the rules, you're going to get squeezed out somehow, and they're going to screw you over. But here we have, so depending on your age, and now they've got different plans. You got to remember, you wanted to work in the United States, you're from another, say from Canada, you got to get a green card to work. Now, Trump has a gold card with his face on it, and it costs you $5 million to get the card. So instead of a regular green card that's been around for, I don't know, 100 years, you can also get a gold card with Trump's face and name on it, and only costs you $5 million. So here we are, we've got a bronze plan, silver plan, and a gold plan, and a platinum plan. Platinum's tops. Look at age 60. Age 60. Minimum 1072. Or 1012, sorry. Top end, 2380. So you have to ask this question, and this question alone. What is... Dang, didn't work. Wrong button. Sorry, I gotta go back to that button for some reason. So what happened? Zoomer Media. Like, you're really helping seniors? Pierre Poilievre is not going to help seniors. Not going to help seniors whatsoever. It's just not going to work for seniors. So this is the danger. I don't know why people claim to be looking out for people. They're looking out for seniors. Zoomer Media, CARP, and they're bringing Pierre Poilievre in. He's not going to help seniors. Aren't you there to help people? Isn't that the point of your organization, to help people? And this is the question. And this is what you need to get the answers for. So I'm not trying to tell you who to vote for. You got to make those decisions for yourself. But you have to remember, Pierre Poilievre just finally put it out a costed plan, and he's already misrepresented some very important tax cuts. He's back-end loaded a lot of stuff. So you got to do your research. Figure out what works best for the people, for you and the people. And you got to look at it from that way. So, thanks for watching. Love and peace to everybody. Take care. Ciao for now.